Let us now look into the task 2. We have already seen the task 1, in which we have seen classification of Shakespeare's plays into comedy, history, etc. And here is the task 2 that we are going to see. So first thing is read the following passages and make notes from it. You can use either the farmers discussed above. The World Health Organization began a DDT. This DDT is dichloro diphenyl triethylenamine. It's an insecticide. It's used to kill the pests and it's being spread over the agricultural places, agricultural products, and it is found to have some side effects on human beings. Frequent use of DDT is not advisable, but where there is no way out, we will use this DDTs by the farmers and the agricultural people, which virtually eliminated malaria. This was capable of eliminating malaria, but other things began to happen. What are these things? Besides killing mosquitoes, the DDT killed other insects that lived in the houses, such as flies and cockroaches. Okay, this is one thing very important to know, that each human being has at least 1,000 should I say, insects to his credit, right? Flies and cockroaches. At least one human being, suppose the population is 1 crore, there will be 1,000 crore such insects. These insects are the favorite food of geckos. This is called as the small lizards. Also, when the geckos ate the dead insects and died from DDT poisoning, that means this suggested that DDT is able to infiltrate into the grains and stays there and still can be passed on to the eating animals. Similarly, the house cats ate the dead geckos and cockroaches, and they too died from the DDT poisoning. As a result, the rat population rose sharply. So look at the consequences, and the human population of Borneo began to die from a type of plague carried by flies and the rats. Borneo is a small island, African island, and in order to deal with the emergency, thousands of cats were parachuted into the island in what was called as the Operation Cat Drop. So more details of this is available in this particular thing. Now taking the notes, the passage from which you made notes in the previous task was fact-based. We will now look at how we can take notes from other kind of the passages. Task 1. Read the following pages describing how the task is made up. So before going to that, let me just put the cycle. So you can draw the cycle, how this is about a kind of DDT. So you can draw two things about this, some notes from DDT like this. Its uses and then its disadvantages. Okay, so you can classify them like that. So what are the uses? It was used to kill the insects that killed that that killed the crops, Okay, but here you're going to have insects. The disadvantages, it also killed what is that, flies and cockroaches. What does it mean then? This is a kind of life cycle which you're going to write. So this is in fact has disturbed the life cycle. Disturbed the life cycle. What is this life cycle? The life cycle is that these flies are infected with the DDT. Okay, flies are infested with flies are infested with DDT, and these flies are taken up by lizards. They are called it gecko lizards, small lizards, and these lizards were eaten up by the cats, and these things died. Okay, So what happens when the cats died? The cats died, these rats were liberated. Liberated means the rats become free. So it became a kind of pandemic, and for the for those animals. And then it mentions about the place. So you can write this what, when, how, and why the Borneo, and where these rats began to increase, and then the rats were used to be contained by the rats have to be contained by the cats that were imported using the Operation Cat Drop. So you are going to know this is also an important point there. What is the operation called? Operation Quad Trap. What was the operation when the US invaded Iraq? It was called as Operation Desert Storm. So you have separate names for each and every operation that is taking place at a larger scale. So here it describes the points. So we have written the notes very beautifully on the right side. Now let's just go to the next task there. Read the following passages describing how chocolates are made. You have ever wondered how chocolates come from? So it's a question that also forms a heading. Okay. Well, chocolates is made from the beans, and that grows in parts on the these are the parts, that is, okay, these are the parts. Theobroma cacao tree. These trees grow in several different countries, and the flavor of the beans varies. Okay, flavor of the beans varies depending on where they come from. The beans also vary in flavor depending on the age of the tree. So if it's an old tree, they give you a very good product. So after the beans have been collected and dried, they are transported to the chocolate factories. There the beans are weighed and separated by types, so that the manufacturer knows exactly what kind of cacao is going to into the chocolate. What kind of cacao is going to the chocolate. This ensures the flavor of the chocolate is consistent over time. Some manufacturers use up 12 types of cacao depending on the flavor of the chocolate they want to create. So it is mentioned here the types that you are going to there, and then the flavor that is there. Okay. Once sweet, the cacao beans are roasted in large ovens. Roasted means you can just put it in heated. When you heat slightly, and the products become brown and the aroma is lost. In large ovens for up to 2 hours, like we do for groundnut. Groundnut is roasted and chutney is made. The heat not only dries and darkens the beans but also brings out their flavor. Next, the cacao beans are cracked in a vadigatte. Then winnowed, that is, the broken shells are blown away. Winnowed means it's a kind of a filtering process in which you remove unwanted things. Broken shells are blown away. That is mentioned here. Broken shells are blown away. It's a kind of shell. Shell means what is the shell? That's a cover that is there, in which leaves the crushed pieces of cocoa beans called nibs. It is called as the nibs. These are edible. Edible means which can be eatable. Eatable, but do not taste very pleasant. Kasapar. The cacao nibs are then crushed and ground to a thick paste called chocolate liquid. So that is why what they do is they grind it. Ground means what? Ground means they make grinding. Fastness of grinding is ground. This is a bitter, not very smooth or creamy. To improve the flavor, the manufacturer mix thick sugar, vanilla, and maize. So you could eat this mixture and it would taste pretty good, but it won't quite have a right texture. Texture means that feel that you get, that kind of feel. The texture means for example, you can feel the texture of the clothes, different clothes. The clothes, cotton will have a different texture, nylon will have a different texture, polystyrene will have a different texture. So by taking hold of the chocolate, the mixing is proper, you'll have a good texture. And if you break it, it will have very uneven breaking. So the manufacturer runs the mixture through steel rollers and then it is conched. It is shaped. Okay, conching is, usually it is a shape like this. It is called as the conching, and this is a process which involves putting the mixture into a mixers and that mashes up this chocolate. So that conching is the mashing. That is, you bring one side here and then bring this side there and then bring this side there. That simply mix up and that is called as mixing. Conching can last. Conching means you can say, for example, our what do we people do for making a parota? They use that mavu and then they put water and then that master he prepares it, he mixes it thoroughly, beats the like black what is that called as the beats the dough, and it is using the hands, it separates out and then makes into pedas and then finally puts pressure to make the parota. So it can last for few hours and cheaper seconds up to 6 days for more expensive days. So this means crunching, it's going to make the chocolates expensive. Finally, we have the chocolate. So this is a passage that is taken from. One thing that you have to mention is this is a very good reference, that often establishes the authenticity of any article that you are going to read and see. Okay. Now here is the workout for this. Before that, using the directive point is meaning the following words. Some of the words are more than one meaning. Identify the meaning that is relevant to the passage. Once you have found the meaning of the passage, make sentences of your own with these words. So it tells about ensure. Ensure means you have to make sure, right? You have to make sure. Flavor means it's a kind of taste. Okay, then this is edible means this is eatable. Or edible oil means that oil that is. Quiet means very silent. Pretty means damn sure. Or, okay, I'm very firm. Okay, when you need to make notes from a passage, this a flowchart model is helpful. The flowchart is what I think I told you in the beginning. Flowchart model is helpful. This is because the flowcharts allow you to place various components of the process in the correct place. So that is kind of plan that you are going to make for everything that you want to present. In each of the boxes in the flowchart, you can also add bullets and numbered points. I think I told you about this in previous classes and related information. Part of the notes made in the passage using the flowchart model could like what is given below. Complete the flowchart. Beans collected from Theobroma cacao tree. Right? This is the heading there. So what is mentioned about that? It grows in several countries. It's varied flavors based on the place, ground, and also age of the tree. That is the next thing. Okay. Within this, beans are transferred to the chocolate factories. Next thing, and they are separated by uh, based on their flavors. So this they do it up, and they after that they do the roasting, and then uh, that is mentioned here. So they do the roasting there, and it's done for 2 hours, and to try they darken the beans, then to bring out the flavor. These are the three important points that the purpose of this particular passage there. And then you can write about the conching, and it's a time-based process, and this decides the what happens to this conching. This decides the conching decides the price price of the chocolate. Okay, what is the other thing that mentions this is also giving good texture. I think I told you about the texture. Texture is the size, shape. Okay. So quite similar thing you can find with regard to the paper also. I think with paper, the GSM, 80 GSM, 100 GSM is there. Grains per square meter. This stands for the GSM is grains per square meter. Okay. So it is also like telling that pixel per inch PPI. 400 PPI. If you have a mobile phone with 400 PPI, within particular inch you can have several dots. Okay, within a square inch, how many dots are there? If the dots are large, the picture is clear. Picture is very clear. 400 PPI is a very good, very clear picture. So if less than anything 400, 200, it appears very coarse. COARSE. It's not very sharp. Not very sharp. So like that you have got paper with 80 GSM, 80 grains, the paper pulp is there. Each pulp has got a size. So that size, size of the paper pulp. Paper pulp is the powder through which paper is manufactured. If there are more grains, if there are more grains, the paper is is very costly. Okay. So likewise in the conching also you got that process there. Okay. So take up the second exercise and do it, and we'll go up to the next session, the next class. Thank you for joining.